My dad didn't soften his tone at all when he declared it. He proclaimed it like a divine decree. Give your penthouse to your brother. It was meant to be a wedding toast, but the ballroom fell utterly quiet. Then his palm struck my face with such force that the string quartet stumbled on a note. 200 guests stared as champagne hung suspended in the air and my cheek flared crimson. My mother's murmur sliced deeper than the blow. You've shamed us. I simply smiled, composed, icy resolute. Because in that instant they failed to grasp that they hadn't merely struck their daughter. They'd forged their greatest error. Before I reveal what unfolded next, smash that like button and leave a comment sharing where you're tuning in from. Have you ever faced off solo against your own kin? Folks always claim my family appeared flawless, and perhaps we did on the surface. A dad with a solid grip and bespoke suit. A mom who never elevated her voice or stepped out sans lipstick. A son whom everyone cherished, even amid his flops. And then me, the daughter who carved her path independently yet never fully fit in. I'm Diana Brooks, 31, a lead software architect who constructed my career from nothing. No kin ties, no inheritance, just lines of code, endless coffee, and unyielding determination. While my brother Carlos bungled venture after venture, my parents funneled him cash, cleaned up his disasters, and lauded his drive. When I pulled extra shifts to cover rent, my father remarked, "That's what forges character." He adored invoking that word, character, as though grit equaled affection. I departed home at 20, vowing I'd never seek aid again. For years, I held true. I dwelled in a studio with walls like tissue paper, coded till my fingers ached, devoured ramen as Carlos flaunted snaps from Cabo. And still, when I at last purchased my penthouse, the sole reward for every sleepless night, my parents scarcely responded. My father merely noted it was too vast for a solo occupant. I should have recognized that wasn't mere comment. It was a harbinger. Carlos was eternally the heir apparent. My parents insisted he brimmed with promise, even as his debts mounted. Every family meal morphed into a planning session on bolstering his latest move. My mother Helen beamed graciously while steering every chat to burden me with remorse for my achievements. "You've always possessed such a robust work ethic," she'd remark, carving her steak. "Perhaps you could assist your brother in standing tall. Help me mend." Mend signified surrender. So when Carlos revealed he was wedding Vanessa, a sleek woman with an influencer's grin and gaze that appraised value quicker than character, I went along. I attended, posed for shots, even delivered a toast. I yearned to trust that this once, they'd view me as kin, not the bankroll sustaining them. The wedding embodied all they'd craved. Chandeliers, champagne pyramids, a hired orchestra. The family legacy finally gleamed anew. I recall lingering by the dance floor, gripping my flute, feigning ignorance of my father's stare from afar, assessing, measuring. Then he rose, lifted his glass, and offered his toast. And that's when it all shattered. The morning post-wedding, my cheeks still pulsed. A subtle imprint of my father's hand remained, like an indelible mark I couldn't scrub away. The city beyond carried on unchanged. Traffic droned, rain pattered the panes. But within me, something had transformed. My phone buzzed relentlessly. Cousins, aunts, digits unseen for ages. Each note bore identical sentiment, regret masked as worry. "You ought not to have goaded him. He's your father, Diana. Rise above." None referenced the strike. None inquired after my well-being. Then Carlos messaged, "You truly wrecked it all." Vanessa's livid. "Mom insists you apologize to Dad." I gazed at the display, letters smearing. Then I acted as never before. I blocked his line. For the ensuing days, quiet supplanted the clamor, until it didn't. On Thursday morn, a knock sounded. I swung open to behold Carlos and Vanessa poised there, like stars in an ad for privilege. Vanessa sported white jeans and clutched a tape measure. Carlos bore a coffee mug and that identical cocky grin. "We just require a couple swift measurements," he stated. "For what?" I queried, though I knew full well. "Our furnishings," Vanessa answered, advancing. "We're relocating post-honeymoon. Mom said you'd consented." I chuckled once, brief, piercing, empty. "Get out. Don't complicate this needlessly," Carlos urged. You're alone. You don't require all this room. The nerve scorched fiercer than the slap. You must depart now. I shut the door prior to further words. The bolt snapped shut, definitive and gratifying. By dusk, my phone pinged with an alert. New group thread, Diana's penthouse handover. 12 participants. The initial post was a snapshot of color samples. The next from my mother, Carlos and Vanessa relocation date set, 2 weeks. For ages, I merely fixated on it. Then I keyed, this isn't occurring. Moments later, my father rang. His bellow thundered via the speaker. You spoiled ingrate. After all we've provided you. Like what? I murmured. What precisely have you provided me? He offered no reply. He simply disconnected. That evening, I perched in darkness with a tumbler of water, not wine, beholding city lights flicker like beacons from a distant existence. I reflected on each yielding instance, each shame I'd ingested, each time I'd confused coercion for care. I grasped a harsh, liberating truth. They craved not a daughter. They sought possession. The following Sunday, I appeared for supper from routine, or perhaps intrigue. The home wafted its usual aroma. Garlic, lemon, polish, dominance. My mother welcomed me as if untouched. My father withheld. He bided till meal's midpoint to pound the table. Enough, he snarled. Carlos, claim your keys next weekend, or you're banished from this family. My mother's utensil tinkled gently on her dish. It's optimal for all. Carlos smirked, gaze sparkling. I creased my napkin, set it aside, and rose, then deemed this meal my final one. None halted me. None even hailed me. Outdoors, the night breeze stung, vibrant. I motored home sans tunes, sans sobs. The quiet no longer weighed. It purified. They figured they'd crushed me. They overlooked they'd merely liberated me. I slumbered not that night. The slap, the supper, the quiet, it cycled like interference. Yet betwixt midnight and daybreak, fury tempered to clarity. If they aimed to seize what I'd erected, I'd demonstrate its true cost. At 7 a.m., I dialed Jasmine, my closest confidant and lawyer. It's time, I stated. Time for what? For me to cease the subdued daughter act. By midday, we sat in her office, bruise ignored betwixt us. I arrayed my phone, laptop, a USB brimming with texts, captures, voicemails, every barb and edict they'd hurled. Jasmine perused, visage stiffening. This qualifies as harassment, she declared. You've ample for a no-contact order. Not yet, I countered. But soon. Next, I phoned Marcus, my staunchest work comrade, the sole witness to my family's spectacle at the nuptials. We convened at a compact cafe downtown. The breeze carried rain and brew scents. You were correct, he voiced ere I settled. Carlos is boasting at work. He informed HR he's occupying your space. He's leveraged your name for advancement. I sensed warmth surge in my torso. He exploited my name, your standing, Marcus added. And he remains oblivious you hold part of Westview via your entity. That phrase altered all. My brother labored for a firm I'd discreetly co-founded. He deemed me mere staff. He knew zilch of my 30% stake. Good, I replied. Let him persist in yapping. The subsequent day, I reached the building's security chief, Reynolds, who was indebted to me. Within hours, he dispatched video. Carlos and Vanessa attempting penthouse entry in my absence. Vanessa even snapped a selfie by the portal, geotagging it future home. Jasmine almost guffawed upon viewing. They're constructing your argument. Precisely, I affirmed. I'm finished responding. Now I initiate. That eve, I fashioned 3 directories on my machine. Legal, fiscal, proof. Each swelled rapidly, tapes, missives, captures, wire records. Every falsehood tallied as invoice. Every remorse ploy as armament. By Friday, Jasmine had penned stop orders and an initial no-contact draft. Marcus unearthed ledgers proving I'd funded loans my father never settled. Each file sharpened the portrait. They'd exploited me for years, and I'd permitted it till now. When Jasmine queried the subsequent step, I didn't waver. Summon them here. All. They desired a kin summit. They'd receive one. Her brows arched. Certain you're prepared? I've been primed my entire life. Outdoors, Thunder rumbled over the horizon. I gazed at the metropolis from my pane walls, edifices aglow versus tempest. The realm-eyed forge sands their aid, and sensed composure in bed within, serene, total. They figured I'd shatter, I whispered. But I was merely commencing. Friday arrived with downpour, the sort that hazed the skyline and set the city buzzing. I donned a crisp white blouse, ebony trousers, tresses drawn back, poised, mastered, immovable. Precisely at 7 p.m., the chimes sounded. Through the panes, I spied brallas, dress coats, and known visages already etched in disdain. My father loomed central with a manila packet. My mother gripped hue samples like decor lingered paramount. Carlos, arrogant as ever, brandished his device, likely capturing triumph. I unlatched and yielded passage. Enter. They streamed the corridor, shedding wet, muttering on the vista. My father surveyed, inclining head. You've thrived solo, he noted. Now fulfill your family duty. Amusing, I riposted. I believe duty applied equally. I motioned to the feast zone, for figures awaited behind me. Jasmine, Marcus, my fiscal guide, and Reynolds, security lead. They appeared keen, tacit, adept. The vibe altered. My father's grin evaporated. What sort of kin summit is this? The one you sought, I stated. My mother's tone sweetened. Diana, we never intended ugliness. Simply endorsed the handover docs to proceed. Naturally, I responded, proffering an azure binder. Commenced by perusing this. They unfurled it. Sheets of title docs, conveyances, firm submissions. My father scowled. What drivel is this? Evidence, I intoned steadily, that this transcends my penthouse. I possess the structure and 30% of Westview, the outfit employing your son. Carlos stiffened, mean flashing from hubris to dread. You're fabricating. Marcus advanced. Not fabrication. Verified via SEC docs and personnel files. She's your superior's superior. Pallor fled my brother's cheeks. My father's knuckles blenched. You imagine this intimidates me? Jasmine activated audio on her phone. The space swelled with my father's captured timbre, his roars, his menaces, my mother's chill directives, each word keen, irrefutable. This audio, Jasmine noted, is court-submitted alongside a no-contact order. My mother's mouth quivered. You wouldn't inflict that on your own blood. You inflicted it on yourselves, I rejoined. For an instant, sole noise was precipitation. I observed them, the trio, comprehended the sway had inverted eternally. Carlos surged ahead, visage contorted. You deem yourself superior? Reynolds interposed before me, steady yet resolute. Sir, I advised departure. I held firm. I eyed my father. You labeled me thankless, yet I cleared your mortgage, your liabilities, your son's schooling. You sapped me barren and dubbed it affection. He gulped. We're blood. No, I murmured. We're a cycle I just severed. I flung wide the portal. You'll all exit now. Renew contact, and those binders go public. Carlos, your employer learns the truth. Mom, your circle discovers your deeds. Dad, your standing evaporates swifter. Then reconstruct it. My mother's liner smeared. My father's frame sagged. Carlos glowered, yet vigor ebbed. Singly, they trudged into deluge. Vanessa dawdled at threshold, gaze tender. I was unaware, she breathed. Apologies. I dipped chin once, then alter course. As lift panels sealed, I remained rooted, inhaling thunder's rumble o'er crystal. Jasmine grazed my limb. You are right. I'm at last whole, I avowed. We beheld rain trace the casements, scouring their final vestiges. The gale without roared, but within hushed. Pure merited mine. They presumed they could dominate me. They overlooked they'd schooled me in victory. The morrow dawned, the city radiant as if polished afresh overnight. I roused to sunrays, not strain. Tranquility, not turmoil. My phone rested screen down on the ledge. No rings, no remorse, no coercion lurking aglow. Jasmine rang near noon. No contact orders granted, she relayed. They can't approach or reach you anew. I exhaled unwitting tension. Then it's truly concluded. Concluded, she affirmed. Word spread swiftly. By midweek, Carlos faced dismissal. HR uncovered his forged logs, name misuse, and leaked secrets. Marcus messaged, he's ousted permanently. My parents held mute, but their void weighed lighter than any regret could. I devoted that dust to packing their final echoes, aged pics, heirloom baubles. The myth I'd ever craved their nod. With crates fastened, the flat expanded, luminous, as if it respired alongside me. A week on, I inked papers for a tech scholarship aiding unsupported women. The draft wasn't pity. It sealed ends. Converting my ache to endurance beyond their malice felt the sole equity worth pursuing. That night, I lingered by the pane with Brew, viewing the skyline gleam versus ebbing thunderheads. For years, I'd battled for visibility. Now I fathomed I needed none of their gaze. The city pulsed vital, fresh, pristine. And so did I. I once held family-equated unwavering allegiance, cost be damned. But true allegiance honors limits, not your hush or essence. I forfeited no kin that night. I shed a cage of shame. Now each dawn bathing these crystal walls affirms peace isn't bestowed, it's claimed. If you've ever stood solitary versus those pledged to cherish, you grasp this. You're not frail for departing. You're valiant for self-rescue. Smash like, share your tale in comments, and subscribe for more like this.